When you think of Hollywood, what comes to mind? Glamour, wealth, fame, and, unfortunately, a lot of scandals. For most celebrities, their darkest moments and biggest freakouts tend to grab the headlines, but in Keanu Reeves's case, it's the exact opposite. His humble, down-to-earth nature makes him one of the most loved stars in the world. He doesn't flaunt his success, and the more normal and relatable he is, the more people adore him. Whether he's casually chatting with fans or riding the subway like any other New Yorker, Keanu has proven time and time again that he's not just another Hollywood star. He's something entirely different. He refused to let the fame and fortune of Hollywood change him, and today, we're diving into why Keanu Reeves refused to sell his soul to Hollywood. We'll explore his upbringing, his struggles, and ultimately, what keeps him grounded in the cutthroat world, where it's all too easy to lose yourself. Chapter 1. A rough childhood that set the stage. Keanu Charles Reeves was born on September 2, 1964, in Beirut, Lebanon, to an unconventional family. His father, Samuel Nowlin Reeves Jr., struggled with substance abuse and eventually ended up in prison for selling heroin. At just 3 years old, Keanu watched his father abandon their family, leaving his mother, Patricia Taylor, to raise him and his younger sister, Kim, on her own. Life was far from stable for Keanu. His mother worked as a costume designer, and her job required them to move around constantly. They lived in Australia, New York, and Toronto, which meant Keanu was never in one place long enough to establish roots. His mother remarried multiple times, and Keanu found himself navigating a string of stepfathers. His sister would later recall that their upbringing was chaotic, often dependent on the whims of whatever man was in their mother's life at the time. Despite these hurdles, there was something different about Keanu even from a young age. He was described as kind, introspective, and deeply sensitive, traits that would carry him through the emotional storms ahead. But despite his inherent kindness, Keanu struggled in school. He attended 4 different high schools in 5 years, struggling with dyslexia and eventually dropping out at 17. Though his academic life was difficult, it was clear that Keanu had other talents and passions that would soon come to the forefront. Acting. Chapter 2. Keanu's first steps into Hollywood. Keanu's journey into acting began almost by accident. After leaving school, he took on various odd jobs, including as a stagehand at a local theater. It wasn't long before he caught the acting bug, moving to Los Angeles in the mid-1980s to pursue his dream of becoming a movie star. But even as he took his first steps into the industry, Hollywood was quick to remind him that it had no room for someone like him, at least not the way he was. His agents told him that his name, Keanu, was too ethnic. In an industry dominated by conventional stars with conventional names, they thought audiences wouldn't connect with someone whose name wasn't familiar. Keanu was frustrated, but instead of throwing a fit or giving up, he did something most young actors wouldn't. He tried changing his name. He briefly went by KC Reeves, but whenever someone called out that name at auditions, he wouldn't respond. It didn't feel like him. He quickly reverted to Keanu and decided to let his talent speak louder than his name. Keanu's early career was marked by minor roles in films like Youngblood and River's Edge, but his real breakthrough came in 1989 with the release of Bill and Ted's Excellent Adventure. His portrayal of the lovable, goofy Ted Logan endeared him to audiences, and the film was a surprise box office hit, grossing over $40 million. But even as his career was taking off, Keanu refused to let the success change him. Keanu never bought into the Hollywood hype. While other young actors were partying and chasing headlines, Keanu remained down to earth. He had no interest in the superficial trappings of fame, choosing instead to focus on his craft. But Hollywood's cruel nature would soon test him in ways he never expected. Chapter 3. A heartwarming gesture that changed a life. One of the most defining moments in Keanu's early career wasn't about a role he played, but rather an act of kindness toward his close friend and fellow actor, River Phoenix. In the early 1990s, director Gus Van Sant was casting for his upcoming film, My Own Private Idaho. Van Sant sent the script to both Keanu and River's agents, but Phoenix's team rejected it outright. River's agents didn't think the role was right for him and didn't even pass the script along. But Keanu wasn't about to let that happen. He knew River would be perfect for the role and wanted his friend to see the script for himself. So Keanu did something extraordinary. He rode his motorcycle over 2,000 kilometers from his family home in Toronto to River's ranch in Florida, personally delivering the script. Thanks to Keanu's determination, River read the script and fell in love with the role. The two actors went on to deliver stellar performances in the film, with River's portrayal of the troubled hustler earning him critical acclaim. While the world praised River's acting, few knew that it was Keanu's unwavering support that had made it all possible. Tragically, River Phoenix's life was cut short just 2 years later when he died of a drug overdose outside the Viper Room in Los Angeles. The loss of his friend deeply affected Keanu, and he has rarely spoken about River's death, choosing to keep that part of his life private. But his actions during those early years show the kind of loyalty and selflessness that would define Keanu Reeves as both a friend and a colleague. What we see on the screen is only a glimpse of the man behind the actor, and it's clear that his genuine kindness and compassion have left a lasting impact on those around him. Chapter 4. Keanu's selflessness in a money-obsessed industry. If there's one thing that separates Keanu from many other Hollywood stars, it's his total disregard for money. For most celebrities, their careers are built around maximizing their income, big paydays, luxury endorsements, and massive deals. But Keanu has repeatedly shown that money doesn't mean much to him. What he values are the people he works with and the quality of the projects he's a part of. Take The Devil's Advocate, for example. When the producers approached Oscar winner Al Pacino for a role in the film, Pacino initially turned it down 3 times because the character felt too cliché. But the producers were determined to cast him, and that meant they needed to raise his salary. Keanu, knowing that Pacino's presence would elevate the film, voluntarily took a significant pay cut, worth millions of dollars, to make sure Pacino could be cast. He did it again just a few years later when he slashed his salary by 90% for the replacements so that the producers could afford to bring in legendary actor Gene Hackman. Most actors would never even consider such sacrifices. But for Keanu, it was about the integrity of the film, not the size of his paycheck. But Keanu's generosity doesn't stop with pay cuts. He's also well known for treating his stunt teams like family. During the filming of The Matrix Reloaded, Keanu bought each member of his stunt team brand new Harley-Davidson motorcycles as a thank you for their hard work. And on John Wick 4, he gifted his entire stunt crew personalized Rolex watches, each engraved with a heartfelt message. These stories have earned Keanu a reputation as one of the most generous actors in the business. While other celebrities make headlines for their extravagant lifestyles, Keanu's acts of kindness speak louder than words. Chapter 5. Tragedy strikes again, but Keanu remains unbroken. Keanu's life has been marked by an almost unimaginable amount of loss and grief. In 1999, at the height of his success, Keanu and his girlfriend Jennifer Syme were expecting their first child. Tragedy struck when their daughter, Ava Archer Syme Reeves, was stillborn at 8 months. The grief from losing their child put immense strain on their relationship, and they eventually separated. But the heartbreak didn't end there. Just 2 years later, in 2001, Jennifer was killed in a car accident. She had been driving home from a party and lost control of her vehicle. The loss of Jennifer, so soon after losing their child, was a devastating blow to Keanu. Despite facing such overwhelming grief, Keanu didn't let it break him. Instead, he became even more compassionate and generous. In the years following Jennifer's death, Keanu quietly started a cancer foundation in honor of his sister, Kim, who had been battling leukemia. He never attached his name to the foundation, choosing to let it operate privately. For Keanu, these personal losses weren't something to exploit for public sympathy. They were deeply personal wounds that he channeled into acts of kindness and generosity for others. Chapter 6. A True Hollywood Rarity. One of the moments that truly captured the public's love for Keanu happened in 2011 when a viral video showed him giving up his seat on a New York City subway to a woman carrying a heavy bag. The video took the internet by storm, racking up millions of views. People were stunned. Here was a Hollywood star worth millions of dollars, just riding the subway like any regular person and offering his seat to someone in need. In an industry where celebrities often flaunt their wealth and status, Keanu's humility is a breath of fresh air. He doesn't need bodyguards, limousines, or extravagant displays of wealth. Instead, he remains grounded, treating everyone, whether they're a fan or a coworker, with kindness and respect. And it's not just his subway ride that made headlines. Keanu's no-touching policy with fans also earned him widespread praise. Photos of Keanu posing with female fans show him keeping his hands respectfully at a distance, floating above their backs rather than making contact. It's a small but significant gesture that shows just how thoughtful and considerate Keanu is in his interactions. Chapter 7. Keanu's Reflections on Life, Death, and Love. In 2019, Keanu made a poignant appearance on The Late Show with Stephen Colbert, where he was asked a profound question. What do you think happens when we die? Without missing a beat, Keanu gave an answer that resonated with millions of people. I know that the ones who love us will miss us. It was a simple, heartfelt response that spoke to Keanu's deep understanding of life, love, and loss. In a world obsessed with fame and fortune, Keanu remains grounded in what truly matters: connection, empathy, and compassion. His ability to stay humble in the face of fame and fortune is rare, especially in an industry known for its excesses. For Keanu, life isn't about the glitz and glamour of Hollywood. It's about the relationships we build, the kindness we show, and the impact we have on others. In an industry that often breeds egos and self-importance, Keanu stands out as a true Hollywood rarity, a genuine, humble, and generous human being. And it's these qualities that have endeared him to fans around the world and earned him a well-deserved reputation as one of the nicest people in Hollywood. As Keanu himself once said, "Money doesn't mean anything to me. I've made a lot of money, but I want to enjoy life and not stress myself building my bank account." In a world where fame and fortune can easily corrupt, Keanu Reeves is a shining example of how staying true to oneself can lead to a fulfilling and admirable life, even in the midst of tragedy, loss, and success. The lesson from Keanu: kindness and humility above all. No matter how much success, fame, or fortune one may achieve, it is the qualities of kindness and humility that truly make someone a remarkable human being. However, when people find what they perceive to be success, it is easy for them to become consumed by their own egos and lose sight of what truly matters in life. Hollywood is a prime example of this, with countless stories of celebrities indulging in lavish lifestyles and exhibiting entitled behavior. But Keanu Reeves is a shining exception to this rule. He has shown time and time again that it is possible to achieve success and fame without compromising one's values and integrity. His acts of generosity, compassion, and humility serve as an important reminder that the truest measure of a person's character lies not in their wealth or status, but in how they treat others. And perhaps most importantly, Keanu reminds us that even in the face of tragedy and loss, there is still room for kindness, empathy, and love in our lives. So what do you think about Keanu Reeves? Is he just a great actor? Does he have some sort of hidden agenda? Or is he truly a remarkable human being, setting an example for all of us to follow? Well, Let us know your thoughts in the comments below. We'd love to hear from you. And as we always say, if this video has inspired you, then don't forget to like, share, and subscribe for more content like this. And remember, stay kind and humble, just like Keanu. The more we spread kindness and compassion in the world, the better place it will be for all of us. Thanks for watching, and we'll see you in the next one.